Hey guys, and welcome to Quality Shot. As you can see, I'm just showing off that I went to Wimbledon yesterday. So a little picture there. Yes, I will not be doing my day video today because we've got so much to go through the quarterfinals. I will be putting together a video of my day at Wimbledon. Again, yes, I know I haven't done day 2 yet, so I'll be doing that. And also a separate one for the quarterfinals today on court 1, or yesterday, sorry, even on court 1. As you can see, cracking picture though, right? I should become a photographer. Khachanov, let's start for that. Khachanov versus Shapovalov. As you can see, the score lines there. Shapovalov winning 6-4, 3-6, 5-7, 6-1, 6-4 in incredible fashion. It was an unbelievable match. We're going to start off with that. So I'll take this down and we'll go back to my usual. But enjoy the picture. Enjoy it, right? It's mine, so no copyright intended. Well, doesn't matter because I took it myself. So you guys can't copyright it, I guess. Anyways, right, let's go on to it. So as you can see here, I've got the scores. We are going to start off with Khachanov Shapovalov because I just think it's the most interesting one to talk about first when I was there live. So I'm just going to brag about that. Going into this, I thought Shapovalov was going to be slightly too much. I think I said something like 60-40 maybe Shapovalov, or 55-45, something like that. Basically, I thought it would be pretty even, and it was, to be fair, for the most part. The first set, Shapovalov got the break, and he was trying his best, really, just to pepper the Khachanov backhand, really utilizing the forehand cross court. It wasn't quite firing as much as I would have expected in that first kind of couple of sets. That forehand wasn't being... I just don't think he was hitting it as cleanly as he would have liked. And then he was struggling. Khachanov, I think, wasn't struggling as much with the wind on his serve. His ball toss is not as high as Shapovalov's as well, so that probably helps. It was very windy on court 1, and I did hear that Djokovic had similar issues on centre court as well. Not necessarily maybe even with serving, but just with the windy conditions. And Shapovalov struggled slightly with those conditions, especially as you can see in the second and third set, and it did end up in 10 double faults. Khachanov also had 7, which, I mean, look, over 5 sets is pretty solid. It's not terrible, not amazing either, but 10 is slightly high, even for 5 sets, I would say. But 17 aces, so that's a positive, and he is a very big server when he does get firing, and I think he ramped it up actually to around 135, 136 miles per hour. He was serving quick, very, very quick. And it was actually in the last set he started doing that. He was more in the 120s early doors. Khachanov kind of sticking around that 120 mark, but he's tall. He gets a lot of ping off his serve because of that height. And he's a pretty good spot server as well. So both have, weapons for serves, and both try and dictate on the forehand. Khachanov's pretty solid off both sides, if I'm being honest with you. Not too many glaring, I guess, faults in his game, but also not many huge weapons. Like Shapovalov, when you look at him, you say, okay, well, his forehand is a huge weapon. Well, the backhand as well, even, to be fair, looks really nice when he does hit it. And I think the lefty one-hander backhand is so rare nowadays that it's beautiful to see. But anyways, I'm not going to go on to this too much because we've got a lot to get through. But I want to go through this match and just kind of very briefly discuss it. So you can see here, first serve percentage was actually all right for both. Not incredible, but, solid. The win behind the first serve was really key. And I think the reason why Shapovalov's win percentage behind his first serve was so high is because the forehand, that 1+ shot, he was just trying to dictate with the forehand. And when he rips the forehand, which he started to do from, I would say, midway through that second set, it makes a difference. He was doing it in parts in the first couple of sets, but he just wasn't doing it consistently. And then if you have a look at break points, so Shapovalov ended up having 19 opportunities for break points. He opened up a lot of opportunities, and then Khachanov, to be honest with you, which if I'd had time, I would have put it in, because I have videos of him just serving fantastic serves, ad down and break point down on the ad side, and mainly to the forehand of Shapovalov, or down the tee to the backhand, and Shapovalov either just not being able to get enough on it, hitting the return to the net, or just getting a racket on it and kind of skewing it outside the court, or even an ace. So he served really well on those points, and look, he'll be thinking I gave him my all, and I think he did. I think he really did. The one thing that I would say was quite impressive for me, and I think the 19 breakpoint opportunities definitely highlights that, is the returning of Shapo. I thought it was really impressive. He did extremely well to get through Khachanov served the way he did, and I think that's something that's improved because there are a lot of question marks around his returning. In the last year or so, but he's definitely improved on that. I think if he can cut out some of the double faults, I mean, he'll probably hope it's not as windy in the semi-final against Djokovic, to be honest with you. But yeah, well, I'll talk about that in a little bit actually, because I do want to do a brief semi-final preview as well after I've gone through the quarters. But obviously, after he said, look, at the end of the day, we all start on 0-0, and which I thought was a really good thing to say. He said, I believe that I can beat him, and you know what? It is what it is. He's, of course, the best player in the world. That's what the rankings tell you, and rightly so. But, it's a game of tennis, so anything's possible. And I thought that was the right approach to take, and I'm sure he will be quietly confident, knowing that if he plays near his top level, he can give Djokovic trouble. I think the last time they played it was 7-6, 7-6 in the ATP Cup, so yeah, a close affair. And Shapo, I think, being the lefty as well, he needs to utilize that lefty serve on the Jew side, cut it, really just hit that slice serve out wide to the Djokovic backhand, and then potentially just go down to the backhand. Or does he? I think actually what he did actually quite well, I thought, was going out wide to the forehand of Khachanov. He hits this pretty big kick serve out wide on the Jew side. And I think to Djokovic's forehand, that might be a play potentially. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, really, really good. I thought Khachanov played his part. Some unbelievable points as well. There were some genuinely amazing points to witness, and to see it live and see how athletic these guys are, which I will talk about more in my video when I do it on my day at Wimbledon. It was just incredible. Like, genuinely, these guys are like, there's drop shots that they'd hit, and watching it, I'm like, oh, he's not going to get that, because I know I would never get it. But these guys somehow managed to get there. I'm like, what? But yeah, anyways. Right, okay, let's move on to Djokovic, Fucsovics, because that's obviously Djokovic is going to be the person that Shapovalov is playing. And it was a pretty straightforward victory, winning 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. And to be honest, I'm pretty glad I got court one rather than centre court tickets, because both those matches ended in straights. And yes, you had two legends of the game, two goats of the game, in Djokovic and Federer, but wasn't particularly competitive. And for Federer's match, wasn't competitive, but not for him, unfortunately. Anyway, Djokovic, though, I mean, solid. Right, solid, 65%. I mean, 83% win percent on the first serve. Fucsovics, I said this, and I stand by it. I just think Rublev would have given him more problems. Rublev has a big game. Yes, he can be a bit one pace, doesn't have a backhand slice. I get that. I do. I just think he has more weapons to hurt Djokovic than Fucsovics had and did have. And that's why it was just a straight sets win. And I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting Fucsovics to give Djokovic many issues at all, to be honest with you. Someone that I did expect to give problems was Hurcakz to Federer. So we'll touch upon that before I finish up on Berrettini FAA, because I was there as well. I won't put a picture up to make you guys jealous, but yeah, I was there as well. Court one, which was a really good matchup as well. But anyways, Hurcakz versus Federer. I mean, is this going to be Federer's last hooray at Wimbledon? I don't know. I don't think it is. I know a lot of people, it seems like there's a frenzy going on, like, oh my God, Federer lost. He got bigger in the last set, and that's it. Are we ever going to see him at Wimbledon? Is this going to be his last year? It could be. I just don't see it. I just do not see. I don't see him finishing up after getting bageled in the last set of a quarterfinal in Wimbledon. I see him coming back, and I think Steven from the Slices said the same thing. I agree with him, and he made a really good point, saying that he'll probably come back with his family when restrictions are less, and that will be more of a farewell, where he can do a year or a couple of Grand Slams with the family, I think he does miss them a lot as well. And look, again, I'm not saying that that's the reason why he lost, but it does make a slight difference, of course, having a family there. But I mean, Hurcakz is playing really well. I watched him against Medvedev. I watched him in the first 3 sets in parts, and then the next day, obviously, he was 2 sets to 1 down, and he was just incredible. I think he made one unforced error in the 5th set. It was just ridiculous, like just flawless tennis, genuinely. And he seems like a really nice guy. Let's have a look through his stats. 10 aces. The first serve percentage needs to get up there. It does. It needs to be better, a little bit better than that, but it was enough yesterday. 15 break points. He was returning well. He was returning well, and Federer just wasn't at the level that we expect of him, I guess, in a Grand Slam, and that's just what it is. Berrettini versus Auger-Aliassime. So, look, man, Felix is a talent. He's a huge talent. He's someone who I was extremely impressed with his returning, genuinely, in this match, and I wasn't super impressed with him against Zverev. The one part I was his returning, to be fair, because Zverev's a big server as well. But Berrettini is more consistent. Only 3 doubles from the 4 sets, 12 aces, and he was ramping it up to about 139 miles per hour. But you know what was even more impressive was Felix serving mid 130s. Mate, this kid can play. That's all I'm going to say. This kid can play. And he lost the first set, and it was an early break in that first set. And I just thought, look, this set's gone. And I think he got 1 break back after getting broken twice in that first set. But he was returning well. His serve was just faltering a little bit. The toss wasn't quite right. Sorry, excuse me. And he just wasn't managing to find a lot of first serves. But then eventually, and you can see here, 59% is not ideal. You want it above the 60 mark at least. Now, Berrettini, the one glaring... It's not an error. The one glaring kind of weakness I see in Berrettini's game is his ground strokes, and not necessarily the forehand, because I think when it sits up nice on the forehand, he crunches it, and it's a very effective weapon on the grass. Like, genuinely, it is. Defensively, though, he's not incredible. He's okay, and the backhand is a weakness, and he knows it, which is why he tries to slice a lot, which, again, he can kind of get away with a little bit on the grass, because slicing on the backhand side is very effective on the grass. And it's actually a very good variation. But the back, which is what FAA was doing in parts, and he got a lot of success, was hitting the into-out forehand to Berrettini's backhand, or backhand cross-court to Berrettini's backhand. And that gave him a lot of success throughout this match. And it's something he's going to have to look into, Berrettini, because I think Hurcakz will have a similar game plan, and Hurcakz has been serving pretty well. He'll have a lot of confidence after that Federer match. That's going to be a closer match than people think. I know Berrettini will go into that the favourite. I think he will. But I don't know. It's a toss-up for me. It genuinely is. Anyway, he came through 6-3, 5-7, 7-5, 6-3. But genuinely, like, Felix getting 139 mile per hour serve back, like down the tee, managing to scramble, get it back, even get it deep at times, and then get into the rally and win the point. I was like, whoa. And there was one return game, which was actually in the second set, which was a set that FAA won. My gosh. Genuinely one of the best return games I've ever seen. Like, Berrettini was add up. It was a juice that was kept on going. He was saving break points, but FA was just making him play. He was getting so many returns back in play to these serves, these absolute rockets from Berrettini. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is incredible stuff. And he managed to pass Berrettini a few times with some incredible passing shots. That's one thing as well that I think he's really good at, the passing shots. A little bit of, obviously, the Nadal like rub off there. Really good returner, good passing shots. But yeah, anyway, it was just, it was great to see. It really was. And the third set, I think, was nip and tuck, and then Berrettini eventually got the break. And as soon as he won that set, it was like, I think FA, it just looked like FA was giving it his all. but then he was struggling to break the Berrettini serve down in the third and fourth set, and that's why he lost it. And that's just in plain layman's terms. But yeah, anyway, guys, I don't have enough time to do the semi-final preview in this video. I'll do it in a separate one, so keep an eye out for it. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Please do remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Everyone's support's been great. Everyone who tuned in yesterday for the Berrettini Auger-Aliassime live stream, thank you. Very, really enjoyed it. And yeah, keep them coming. Keep the questions coming on those streams, and also keep the support up. I really appreciate it. See you guys later. See you for the women's semi-final, which will happen today, and of course the men's semi-final tomorrow. I'll be doing a preview, hopefully, for the men's semi-final later today, which I'll release as well. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, guys, and see you on the next video.